This is your place for all things Grand Rapids Griffins and all things Toledo Walleye. This is the Hockeytown West podcast with your hosts, Brandon Cook, Nick Harrington, and Travis Foch.
Well, a lot to talk about this week. Axel Sandin-Pellikka sent back to Grand Rapids. The Griffins still dealing with injury bugs. They dropped 2 of the 3 games on the road. We've got an interesting one to talk about, but it's not all doom and gloom when you look at that, because you drop 2 of the 3 on the road this weekend. You go, oh my God, we look awful. We're 4-5 in our last 10. Oh my God. Yeah, we're still clear of second place in the division by 22 points. So settle. Calm. It's going to be all good. Nick's already hitting the panic button. It's already through the desk. I can feel it. But anyways, welcome back to the Hockeytown West podcast, everyone. Your source for everything Grand Rapids Griffins and Toledo Walleye hockey. Just want to send out a friendly reminder, everyone. If you're looking for Red Wings content, make sure you're following our friends over at Grindline Pod. Make sure you check out their latest episodes, see if they're panicking. Maybe they have reason to at this point with the way things are trending with the Red Wings after Saturday's game. I can feel Travis getting worked up just talking about it. Make sure you're checking them out. We appreciate the love they send us. We wanted to send love their way as well. And if you haven't yet, make sure you're hitting subscribe on the show if it's your first time here, or you just haven't hit subscribe yet. If you're a first time listener, wherever you're getting this podcast, make sure you're hitting follow so you can stay up to date with everything Griffins and Walleye hockey, especially as the playoffs loom closer and closer. As we get started today, we'll check in with the boys. Trav, besides tired, how you doing?
It was a long day. It was a very
I like the New
long
Jersey
day.
back there, though.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It's so ugly, it's beautiful.
There's a couple little subtle details in it that you can't see. Yeah, you got to be right up in front of it, but it was a good one. I had to get that one.
As a guy who fishes, it makes sense. I expect you to wear it while fishing at least once, though.
That's where I should have bought 2.
Yeah, see. Anyways, head over to Nick here. Nick, how you doing, buddy?
Recovering, from my day-to-day last week, week to week. We're back on normal schedule, right? So
are we going to address the comments on YouTube? You didn't quit, right?
I did not quit. Just out with injury, right? Sometimes you got to just reset a little bit, right? This is a long season. These are long seasons. I don't think the two of us, I don't know about you, Brandon, but I don't think we realized what we were signing up for when we started this.
I mean, we're like 4 seasons in, so I think we knew by this point. But yeah, look, it's a long season, but when you look at the schedule and go, man, there's only 11 games left, you really do go, where has the season gone? Obviously, There's not 11 games left in the season. We've still got playoffs and hopefully a lot of playoff games to talk about. But 11 regular season games, 4 home games left, including tomorrow night or Tuesday's reschedule from the melted ice night. So yeah, it's coming down to the end here, but playoffs are right around the corner, which is a lot of fun. We'll have playoff preview episodes once we know who our opponent is and how many weeks it's going to take before we actually get to play the first round. But we're going to talk about the playoff format in the American League at the end of this episode, so stay tuned if you want to understand how it works in the American League, what we always joke about the play-in round, how everybody makes the playoffs. We'll give you guys a good breakdown of it at the end of the episode. To start off this one, though, let's talk about the transactions that have happened, right? Axel Sandin-Pellikka is the big story. He's sent down to Grand Rapids. Travis and I talked a lot about this last week. If Detroit wasn't going to play him, you send him down, and it finally happens. What are your guys' takes on it? I'm going to go to Nick since he wasn't here on that episode to give his thoughts first.
Yeah, so it's interesting, right? We've kind of been back and forth with this all season, right? If they wasn't going to play him, he kind of got brought up. I felt at least a little bit too soon. I think he should have been down here, but at the same point, hindsight 2020, you're also looking at our defensemen, what we started with in the year. We had, Justin Hull, we had Ian Mitchell, we had Truscott, we had Andrews, we had everybody, right? So where was he going to be played here as well? So it was a lot of bodies here on the defensive side. So I see, bring him up, get him some experience. Now we have a playoff push. They have all of our forwards, it feels like, still, and they drop a defenseman. It's interesting timing, right? He's been out for a while as well, so get his reps. I'm excited. Hopefully it'll fix our power play. I know it looked really good last year when he was down here with Amadeus and MBN, but it'll be interesting to see what he does. I'm hoping he gets his confidence. We see some crazy goals. It'll be good to talk with him on Tuesday when he's here in Grand Rapids for the Purple game. So it'll be, I'm excited, I guess.
Yeah, you wonder that person who bought his purple jersey thinking it was going to be unused, not sweaty, and now they're going to get a sweaty one. That's fun.
I think you could still bid for them. I think the
No,
bid.
they closed the bidding, but they're going to have them available for pickup after this
Oh,
game,
that kinda
including the
sucks.
$3,000 Brandon Hawkins jersey. But Travis, obviously, you and I talked at Wits End about this whole thing and how it should happen. It's happened. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's
It already happened.
It happened.
I mean, it's one of those things to where like he needs to be playing, right? It probably should have happened at beginning of the month if you had this possibility that he wasn't going to be getting into the lineup. They should have did it earlier. Like I said last week, kind of weird year for him. Like he probably should have been down here for the whole season, but he was a better option than Hamonic, in my opinion. It's just it takes defensemen some time. Like that's probably the biggest thing to fix the power play, Nick. I don't know where they're going to put him if he's going to be a first unit.
He'll be second unit.
Yeah, like or
Gus
do they
runs first, he runs second.
But he's so good on the off wing where Hawk was at with the 1T. Do they put 2D on the first unit? Like it's going to get very
They'd have to
interesting.
be creative to do that, and I don't know if they can.
Well, we don't have all our forwards, so they probably are going to put him there. So
it's going to be
it makes sense too.
And for him too, it's in a time to where he can come in, work on defense. Like that's the one thing he's struggled with at points, kind of anticipated as a possibility, but I think it's good for him. I think he's going to flourish down the stretch.
It's weird that like Moritz was here for a full season in Grand Rapids, right? And that Simon was here for 2. Albert was here for 2, maybe 3.
2,
So
2.5.
why? Like, I just don't understand why they always say defense would take longer to develop. So why did they rush him so quickly into the show? You could have brought Justin Hoyle. You could have brought Gus. Like they were serviceable, better than Hamonic, right? Why did they like? I guess that may have been
they got too excited
there, right? Like too much aura farming, you know.
I think the thing that sticks out for me on this is like, did they really ever think to maybe just give him an extended look up there on the third pairing, like just ease him back in that way in his development and then work his way up? Like you're looking for goals. He has more points than JBD. Like maybe try him there for a little while and then let it. I don't know. It does seem like a really mismanaged first season for him in the pros over here. But at the same time, we all agreed at the beginning of the season he probably should start in GR. We kind of had those feelings all the way throughout the entire season. And now he's back. So I guess we'll just reap the benefits of it and hope that he's going to just be excited to play and play some more minutes, because I'm assuming he'll probably have a couple of games to get the legs under him since he hasn't played a ton lately. And then he's probably going to be right into that first pairing playing big minutes for the Griffins every single night. I'm assuming you're going to see the pairing of him and Gus. That would make sense to me.
Or Shy.
I don't know. I think him and Gus are like...
It's going to be him and Gus or him and Laggy. Like
I think Lageson's a better pairing. Gustafson's, they're both an offensively gifted defenseman. So like putting 2 of them on the same pair is... I don't...
But then you're still running into he's going to be probably playing the same minutes he was playing in Detroit over that first pair.
No, because they just sat him for the second half of the game. In Grand Rapids, he'll play the whole 60 minutes.
Hopefully not the whole 60 minutes.
Yeah, well, like he's going to be rotating in for the whole game. He's not going to be benched after 11 minutes some nights. Like he's going to play. Like
yeah, I mean, obviously he's going to be paired with one of those 2 vets, which is going to be huge for us and huge for him as we head into this important stretch.
I think his partner's here. I think his
partner's
still on his way. It's going to be
Anton.
They're not going to put 2 righties together.
No, yeah, that's
this guy.
That's this
the
guy.
audacity.
Good Lord. And no, he's not going to get paired with Shy. I mean, I'm not going to lie, guys. Shy's kind of let me down since coming back from injury. He's not been blow the doors off like he did in the beginning half of last season before he got hurt.
I'm not going to disagree with you. Like you expected more, but when you miss as much time as he did, it's hard, right? And
oh yeah, 100%. You're jumping on a moving train. Like
yeah, it's kind of like the same argument can be made for a forward that's not healthy right now either. He's is a little different situation. He was up, down, but he's been hurt twice now. So when you miss so much time, it's frustrating. It's hard, but I mean, that's just it's his ceiling, you know. You don't
never know.
Yeah,
Not every draft pick's going to turn out to play long time in the NHL. Like, what is it? 30% of second rounders, I think, only play in the NHL. Like, it's obviously like we all want to see them succeed and make it up there and go. Like, we get to watch them, but we just get to reap the benefits of really talented players down here. But you want to see them perform a little better here because the defensive core hasn't been torn apart like the forwards have in this second part of the season here with all the call ups and injuries and everything. So, if anything, that's been the most stable part of the team outside of who's playing in net. So, you do hope that Shai turns it on here. And again, he's had games where he shows flashes of what we're used to seeing, and then he has games where you just go, "Oh God, it's not good." But it's going to be interesting to see what ASP does to the lineup, who comes in, who comes out, and obviously, I'm assuming with that here, Alex probably comes out and Truss probably comes back to Toledo, and who knows? It's going to be interesting to see, and we'll obviously share updates as it happens. I'm excited to see ASP in action, though. Hopefully Tuesday night. That's going to be fun to see him back here in GR. It was one of my favorite young prospects to get interviews with at the end of last season. He's a good interview. He's fun to talk to. And again, you just hope he comes down with the right attitude. I think he's going to do it, though, and he's going to be just excited to be playing those meaningful minutes, and he's going to have a lot of fun in the playoffs because we saw what he started to heat up in towards the end of that awful Texas series last year. So outside of that, transaction-wise, nothing else crazy. MBN, Shine, and Dries are still all in Detroit. New injury on the Griffins, not officially on the injury record, but injured supposedly is William Wallinder. I don't know the details on that. He didn't play in Sunday's game. We'll see if he's in action or in the lineup for Tuesday's game. We'll just kind of hold that one as day to day, week to week. Nobody knows. And then Nate Danielson is still injured, and Stahoviak is still injured as well, but potentially going to make his Griffins debut Tuesday or this upcoming weekend.
They did say Nate was they said on the coaches show that they expected Nate to be back last weekend, and they're just being extra cautious with him. So we should,
which I love.
Yeah, my guess is he's back Tuesday. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him Tuesday.
Look, when you're in the dance already, and basically you've clinched the first round bye already, you don't need to rush him back. Does taking losses suck? Yeah, of course it does. But at the same time, him being healthy for the playoffs is way more important to me than winning a Central Division title, even though we're only 2 points away from doing that. Like, just ease him back in.
Still got to play a few games before the playoffs. Like, you don't want him to be out until the playoffs. But.
No, I mean, if he was expected back a week ago and there's 11 games left, he's going to play a few games before the playoffs. That's a given.
Just
especially because we don't know how long Dries and Shine are going to be in Detroit. So he's going to be in the lineup at some point in time.
Probably, my guess is the middle of April.
That's, I would say beginning of April, I bet you right around there. Probably for the last home games, you'd see him probably jump in the lineup.
Yeah, well, I think if Larkin's back, you should get Dries.
Yeah, which could happen any
tomorrow.
Moment now, apparently. He's going to be a game time decision from what I've seen all over Twitter. A lot of people freaking out. He looks fine out there. Just throw him in. He can look fine in practice. Practice intensity is like what? 60 to 70% of game intensity. Yeah, let's just throw him out there to maybe crawl into the playoffs for him to be hurt into the playoffs. That makes so much sense.
I don't know. Have you've seen our practices, Brandon? Our practices are pretty intense. I would think
that is true. That is very true.
They might be more like 80%.
Yeah. One last transaction I forgot about is that DeFore was released from his PTO and assigned back to Fort Wayne. As much as Travis and the Toledo fans hate that, it did allow Edmonton to move Josh Bloom from Fort Wayne to Bakersfield, so Travis feels a little bit of relief with that. But it does suck to see DeFore go. I kind of liked him a lot as a player, but he did make some costly penalty mistakes over this weekend. So I guess that probably sealed his fate with the team. But outside of that, no other transactions, because it's not an episode if we don't spend the first 10, 15 minutes talking about transactions and injuries. Let's move into the first game of this 3-3 this weekend. Reminder, the Griffins are playing 4 games in 5 days with this brutal reschedule of the game that had to be postponed. So the first 3 games are all on the road here with this ridiculous travel schedule of you play Friday night in Rockford, play Saturday in Milwaukee, and you play Sunday back in Rockford, which I know, Travis, you and I talked about this while I was in T-Town with you this weekend, and it does sound like the Griffins did bus to Milwaukee on Saturday afternoon. So you were correct in that assumption that that's probably the move they will make, which does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, why pack everything up to drive an hour and a half when you could just do it the day of the game? Like, it's not ideal either way. Just figure out the schedule to where you're in the same city for back-to-back and then go out, or go there first and then you have the back-to-back after. But I'm glad that they did that, because that made it even worse, especially on Could you imagine like the equipment staff that
Yeah, I'm sure
like
they liked the decision, but hated this whole trip in general. Like, that's just such a
yeah.
crappy weekend. But
Brutal.
anyways, back to Friday night in Rockford at the BMO Center. And the Griffins come out of this game with a 4-2 win. And it wasn't an easy win. Rockford stayed in the fight throughout this game, all game long. It was a sloppy game. It was a messy game. It wasn't Postava's best game in net, but he still made some big saves when he needed to. Your goal scorers in this one were Leonard, Mazer, Becker, and Raklovsky. What did you guys think of this game, Nick? I know I'm going to go to you first on this one, obviously, but this game was just kind of messy, right?
It was sloppy. I mean, not a great way to start the 3-3. A little surprising with the shorty, right? We haven't had a shorty in a long time.
That was nice to see it. It was pretty.
It was a nice goal, and Leonard gets back on the goal sheet, right? Like, I feel like he's gone a few games without one. So,
well, he wasn't here.
Yeah, well, right. That's why. And I'm like, but he's still like, what, 2 goals away from leading the league with 20 games less played.
4 goals from the league lead right now. 1 goal from tying for second with like half the games played.
Yeah, so I mean, he's still on this nothing lost from him, right? From being out for that long. And his chemistry with Carter Mazer was just absolutely insane. I feel like this was the first time that they've been able to play on the same lines because Leonard has been up. But
second or third time.
I mean, it was crazy. The chemistry there is so good between the two of them. So something I definitely want to keep an eye on, and something I would like moving forward from those two is keeping those guys together, because we'll get into Saturday's game, but they did the same thing there as well. So keeping that connection. But yeah, just a very odd game from Postava, I felt, in this game. Just a lot of weird bounces. It just seemed like we couldn't really get the bounce our way. And it was kind of like that the whole weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, watching what the puck was doing that night should have been the signal for what the weekend was going to bring us. But hey, to go in there and at least get the win was good. Yeah, obviously, Rockford's fighting for their playoff lives, so holding them to a loss is always a good thing, especially when you look at, the potential of having to play them in the playoffs. Who are they going to get back from Chicago? How dangerous of a team could they potentially be in the playoffs? It's kind of a team I don't want to see in the playoffs. But at the same time, we'll have to wait and see what that's going to all shake out to be. I do want to say, like you mentioned that shorty, Lenny goes forehand, backhand, 5-hole on that one. Then Rem Pitlick goes the other way, does the exact same thing with an extra forehand move on Postava there. And you're like, all right, it's going to be the show-off night. But really, like, defensively, the team just kind of felt out of sorts in this one. It just didn't feel like they were themselves. A lot of missed assignments, a lot of guys getting around. I mean, the one play I'll say that was impressive was William Lagesson. He got beat, somehow did a full body rotation with one hand on the stick to get a little bit of a stick lift or a tap on the puck to get it into the corner, which was one of the more impressive defensive plays I've seen from any of our guys this season, basically saving a guaranteed 2-on-1 for Postava there. So incredible play by him, but the rest of the defense just felt meh in this game.
Rockford really took advantage of the odd man rushes in this. I mean, I remember texting, I believe I was texting with you, Brandon, this night. It seems like there's a play that a certain style that is very good against us. And it's those odd man rushes, getting behind the D and going. And this is like when we watched Texas last year against us. It is just up and down the ice. We just couldn't hang. Luckily, like we're just a little bit more skilled this year. We're able to, a little bit more confidence as well, because this game was really a 3-2 game until the empty netter with Raklovsky, which was a heck of a shot from all the way at the crease of the other end. But the other goal too that I want to point out was Becker's. Like, that goal, if you see this, there's a tip and he just starts going for it, just turns on the jets and then takes it in. Just a good heads up play from him to be able to see that, spot it, and then just get to the puck before the other guy to put it in. So got a Becker there.
Yeah.
Yes, we need a little bit. Like, he's had a weird season, right? Like, great on the third line, gets some chances on the first, gets torn down to the fourth. Like, he's been kind of bounced up and down the lineup. So good to see a little bit of confidence booster, I hope, for him.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then, I think we got to talk about Mazer's goal too, because it fooled everyone in the arena.
I was gonna say,
everyone
Nick,
thought he hit the post.
I was going to say, Nick, the one goal you want to point out is the Becker goal. Like, I think the one that
Yeah,
wowed
the Mazer
everybody.
goal. The thing I want to point out, not even just the shot, because the shot was ridiculous, obviously tucked it back bar to where you couldn't even tell where the puck really went. but it was the amount of speed that Mazer picked up to go make that play happen, which when we've looked at, Maze this season with his injury coming back, you're like, all right, is the speed still there for him? And it was like he was shot out of a cannon. All of a sudden, there he goes, and he's got the puck and rips it right past the goaltender, and nobody saw it. Not a single person in the arena thought that puck went in. Even Bob Kaiser was like, I thought it hit the crossbar and came back out. But nope, it was just tucked back up there behind the back bar. Incredible play by him.
Well, I mean, you look at that play as a whole, he does a great job of being right-handed on the right side of the ice and using his left side to kind of shield off the defender while protecting the puck with his right side. And because you're on your strong side, you've got your forehand right there. You can just shoot the puck. It's not like you got to cross over to the middle if he was bent on his off wing. So it's just a heads up play. Like, I know I've sent it to you guys, but like when he's healthy, he's an NHL player. Like,
oh yeah,
like
there's no doubt in my mind. He just needs to stay healthy.
Honestly, the Wings are struggling to score this bad. I'd flip flop Dries for him if Larkin's healthy.
Shine for him.
Yeah, Shine.
Either one. Clearly Shine adds an element to Detroit that they don't have. Like, that's why I said Dries. But
I mean, if you want that
for
element,
our sake, yeah,
Shies.
If
you want that element, call up Austin. Give me the captain back here, please.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not against you. I'm just saying he's clearly a very important piece up there also now. Which credit to him and for himself.
I think we only have 3 or 4 losses with him in the lineup, so it'd be nice to have him back. But at the same time, one of the things that with Rockford that stood out in this game, because this is the first time we played them since, the trade deadlines and everything, they got bigger and more physical. And you could see why the games between them and Milwaukee just result in these 100 and 150 penalty minute games, because we know playing Milwaukee, you hit a guy on their team and they all freak out and want to fight everybody. Rockford was not shy about throwing hits. Boucher, big tough guy. The addition of Pouliot in that team. I remember when we were on Rundown's live stream during the trade deadline, everyone's talking about these NHL trades. I'm like, no. I need to know if this Pouliot one's going through. This has a big impact. And this guy is a gamer at this level. So he, again, when I say I don't want to play this team in the playoffs, they've got some new additions, and you think about the guys in Chicago that could come back down. It's a scary looking team. So if they get in, who knows? They could run the table. But at the same time, they've gotten a lot more physical recently. Big hits. It was nice to see the Griffins not falter to that side of the game. But I feel like a lot of those big hits also created a lot of those odd man rushes that you talked about, Nick.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. Right. Say, I don't want to play these guys in the playoffs. I don't know who I want to play in the playoffs right now, because it seems like every team is getting very good right now.
As
everybody's trending the right way except for us.
Well, we're missing half the team,
yeah.
But that's a minor detail there. But enough about this Rockford game. It was good to go in and get a win. Unfortunately, that's the only win of the weekend. We're going to pivot over to Saturday's game, because I don't think we'll talk about this one for very long because it was quite ugly. I'm going to defer to Nick for most of this game. I was in Toledo with Travis covering the Walleye game down there. We got to sit down with the mayor of Toledo, the captain of the Walleye, Brandon Hawkins, and do a little interview with him before the game after morning skate. We'll be releasing that here soon, so stay tuned for that. But Nick, I see a 5-2 loss here. One of those goals being an empty net for Milwaukee. I see another shorty for us, though. Back-to-back shorties, 9 shorty goals this season. Trying to catch up to Toledo there.
Yeah, this the shorty was a nice surprise, right? Carter and Johnny, like I said, going over the last game. This game, it just didn't seem like they cared. Like that's the worst part. Like, I don't want to say that, but that's what it felt like. Like, there just wasn't any there wasn't any fight. It's a back-to-back. They're down some guys. We just couldn't get anything going. Milwaukee, I mean, the first period was kind of boring. Like, just shots were pretty tied. Goal, and then we get a shorty, and then Milwaukee literally turns it on. 17 shots in the second to 8 for us. I think we went the first 12 or 15 minutes in the first period without a shot on net. Like, it was
in the first.
Like, it was quite ugly, this game. And I think Milwaukee, I think it's the Leonard goal this goal was crazy because the glove was in the net. And Johnny scores this. They go to review, and we take the 2-1 lead here. And I'm like, okay, we might have something. Like, it's a grind kind of a fest of a game, but we take the lead. Maybe this is going to set us up. And Milwaukee responds with 4 straight goals. Like, just there's nothing that we could do on this. And that was literally the turning point of the game, was that goal being called for us turned the entire game at that point. Just, it was ugly.
Milwaukee was upset about it and took it out on us with some goal scoring.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how Red Wings legend Jordan Osterley scored 2 goals in this game? Like, what?
I feel like this guy has just had our number. The first one, there was nothing he could do on. Cossa couldn't do anything on it. It hit him in the head, banked it in.
One of those sharp angle hawk shots.
Yeah. Like, there just wasn't anything there that he could do.
Better post play.
The rest of the shots I felt were really coming from the point. Honestly, like, they were all coming from the blue line. They were getting tips. They were getting them through. And that was kind of the style of the game that Milwaukee was playing against us. That entire game was just shots from the point. And they were getting through. They were getting past. Cossa, I don't think this was a bad game for him. I just think there really wasn't much that he could do on some of these. He was either screened or it was a bad deflection.
Yeah, and I mean, he faced 35 shots in this game, or 34, I guess. One was on the empty net, but 34 shots against in this game with Milwaukee's high-powered offense. They got a power play goal. That doesn't surprise us at all here. I'm shocked we haven't had more of them going against us recently with how good their power play is. It's just one of those nights where the legs weren't there. If they look like they didn't care, it's the legs weren't there. Maybe the bus trip during the day wasn't the best idea.
Brandon, I want to ask you about something in this game.
All right.
What were we talking about on Saturday?
I don't know. We talked a lot on Saturday.
There's a specific play, though, in hockey that we talked about, and it happened for the Griffins in this game. They scored on this play.
I'm lost.
You don't remember? So on a 2-on-1, shoot for the far pad, create a rebound for the guy going to the net. And that's exactly how Mazer scored in this game. Like, I feel like when you get 2-on-1s, and I've seen it a lot lately, and it's not just like down here, it's everywhere. It's either miss the net or you're looking, and then you take a quick look and you look back over and it's too late and you try to force it. And Leonard did a great job of getting the puck like high enough to where the goalie couldn't get it with his stick, but it still hit his pad. And Mazer going to the net hard. Like, that's a planned play that I wish more teams took more advantage of.
Yeah, I 100% agree, because you shoot for that big rebound there, and if you hit the pad, you're most likely going to get a rebound. Like, it's very rare that a goalie is going to be able to get that and hold on to it, because what's he going to do? Lift up the pad and try to trap it under there? Well, you're probably going to sneak it under there then at that point. So, yeah, shoot for that, get the rebound. And with how many odd man rushes we've been able to seem to generate lately, I wish we did do that more. But like you said, it seems to be everybody, not just the Griffins. It seems to be a trend in hockey where the guys are looking for that pass, or they send it 5 feet over the net, which we've also been doing quite a bit lately. I think, Nick, you might have texted us at the beginning of this game that like we had 3 shots on goal at one point finally, and they all went way above. Like, it was, you got to shoot for that rebound. Trust the guy next to you to make that play. And we do want to see that more, especially with the guys that have so much speed on this team that can keep up with you and go to the net, maybe even a little faster. Like, Mazer could probably beat him to the net to catch that rebound. You just got to trust that the guy's going to do it. Maybe you got to practice it a little bit more. I don't know, but that is a good call out there.
My favorite clip of this game was Bob Kaiser at the end. He goes, "I'm getting really sick of these Milwaukee Admirals." And I retweeted us and same Bob, same. They beat us 4 times now this year out of our 12 losses that we have. I mean, that's impressive. And they've beat us.
Look at the early games against them where we beat them down or had the back-to-back shutout games against them. You know, Carl Taylor didn't take that kindly.
No, he hates
that's not the type of coach he is. He hates us. So any opportunity he has to go out there and beat us, he's going to go take it. And he's been doing a good job of that lately.
This is who you guys should want in the playoffs.
Depends on the situation.
No,
we've played. I only say that, Travis, because we've played him 12 times this year.
I get that. Like, a couple years ago, they knocked you out. Like, I've said, like, between them and Texas, they've kind of been like the big brother at times against GR. Go through your rivals, man. Go through these teams that give you fits. Like, you want to be the guys, you got to go through the grind. It's like us when we got to go through Fort Wayne every year. Like,
okay, before Nick gets to his point, he wants to add here. You said this literally on Saturday. You know, there's those goalies that turn it on in the playoffs. You know, the Toledos had to go through the LaFontaines, the Cam Johnsons. You got the kid last year whose name is blanking me for some reason. Like, he blanked us most games. Matt Murray in the playoffs is scary. He's one of those He's one of those guys. that just finds not the next gear, he finds the next 3. And the lack of goal scoring lately, and that just doesn't mix in my brain to be like, yeah, that's who I want first round. I'll take them later on, but that's not really possible because they're in your division. So no, I don't want them. But at the same time, who cares? I think when this team plays their structure and plays their style, the way that they are taught and the way they've practiced, and they have everybody there, I still think they're the most dangerous team in almost all of hockey. They just need to play their structure, and they haven't been doing that.
Yeah, 100% agree, Brandon. If they have everybody, could be a very dangerous team. I was thinking after this game, I should go back and see what Waddy's record is against everybody in the Central and just see. Because I feel like this team, like I see it right now, we're 6-1-2 against them this year, but that's what the AHL say, but I don't think that's correct. And I don't want to count the wins and losses.
Yeah, we'll talk more through potential matchups when we get to the playoff portion of the episode, because there's a few opponents where I'm like, yeah, those are going to be battles. There's a few where it's like, oh, maybe, we just kind of waltz through. And then there's one opponent where I'm like, there's triple overtime games written over every game there, and I'm not doing that this playoff. So outside of that, nothing else to really add around this game. You start off the road trip with 1 win, you lose the next night, and you go into Sunday's game hoping for at least a win to kind of come out of this one. We're going to talk about that game when we come back from the ad break. We'll talk about that game, our 3 stars of the week, the current standings around the American League, and give you a breakdown of how the AHL playoff format works.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice. With player props, live betting, every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in on the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. Currently, the NHL is on an Olympic break, but right now you can bet a plus 10,000 for Moritz Seider to win the Norris Trophy, or plus 3,500 for John Gibson to win the Vezina. Pretty good odds there for our guys. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright 2026 reserved.
And welcome back. All right, let's talk about this game on Sunday. Back in Rockford at the BMO Center, and the Griffins dropped this one 4-1. We're not even going to beat around the bush into this one. They go 0 for 5 in the power play. They outshoot Rockford 32-23, but get smoked 4-1 in just what was just an ugly game. What I'll start off with on a positive note, the ceremony the Ice Hogs did before the game for Military Appreciation Night, honoring a 104-year-old veteran on the ice before, and then all of the players from both teams making sure they go through and shake that guy's hand. Beautiful. Love that. Well done, Rockford. Everything else you guys did in the game pissed me off. But we're going to talk about the first guy in this game, and it's not a Griffin. Owen Flores, goaltender, ECHL goaltender for the Indy Fuel, playing this game for the Ice Hogs, and was just absolutely outstanding. I don't know where it came from for him. I know he's been decent in Indy this season, but holy crap. It's kind of the similar thing with Gyro coming up to GR, right? You look at the numbers in the ECHL and you go, hey, they're not anything to write home about. They're good, but they're not crazy. And then they come up to the AHL and post an insane game. This dude's the reason they won the game. Flat out.
You know, the running joke with the Red Wings is like, if you're a rookie and it's your first game and you're going to score. I mean, that's how I feel this point with ECHL goalies going against the Griffins, because that kid from Alpena, ECHL goalie, shuts us down in the beginning of the season, right? On our crazy team. I can't remember what team he played for. This guy, Charlotte, yeah. And then
but
this
he's not
guy
an
comes
ECHL
up,
goalie anymore.
well, good for him. Like he was the real deal. This guy comes up, just blanks us too. Like it's just crazy.
He was unreal.
He's got a .928 save percentage with a 1.98 goals against average in the AHL in 5 games. So
yeah, he's pretty good in the AHL.
Slouch. He's no slouch.
No. And he showed it in this game. Incredible saves, some goal line saves that just, we all were sitting there going, how did that puck not go in half the time? So a lot of credit to him there. And we got to talk about a Lombardi, and it's not ours, unfortunately. Kevin Lombardi breaks out for 2 goals in this game. And I think Bob said his name maybe 30, 40 times in this game. He was all over the ice making big plays against us. He was outstanding. No, he's not related to Amadeus Lombardi for those that are going to ask in the comments. We have the better Lombardi still, but at the same time, he was fantastic in this game. Those 2 guys definitely carried Rockford in this one, along with their physical play. Eddie Trailmax gets the goal for the Griffins. That's cool. Good to see him. It's his 20th of the season. The big story we got to talk about is the Griffins didn't take a penalty in this one, which is great. Well-disciplined game against a frustrating team. Rockford put the Griffins on the power play 5 times in this game, and they couldn't score. They couldn't even get in the zone half the time and get set up. The power play looked horrendous in this game and pretty awful all weekend.
Yeah, it's been tough, I feel. This has been a weird 2-week stretch. I don't want to complain about the rest. I just leave that to you, Braden. But we just haven't had a lot of power play opportunities, which has been very weird. But we've been on the penalty kill quite a bit, which is also uncharacteristic. So I don't know what's going on here, but it's like the turntables, right? Just don't understand what is going on. The power play, 0 for 5, you can't do that, right? That's why I'm hoping maybe Axel comes in, secures it. Nate comes back. Maybe that will help. We get our guys back from Detroit. Maybe that will help as well. I don't know. Hopefully something will happen. We just can't be 0 for 5 on the power play. And then what were we for Milwaukee?
Milwaukee, the night before, we went 1 for 3. In Rockford, the 2 nights before that, we were 0 for 3. So we can't score on the power play in Rockford, apparently, this weekend. And it's not like their penalty kill is anything to write home about in the league. It's not near the top. It's not great. It's middle of the pack. But the thing that frustrates me the most when you see 0 for 5 is that the majority of the opportunities came in the second and third period, where you look in the second period, you're like, okay, at this point, like you're down 2 goals. Eddie gets a goal. You're within, 1 there. Or you're within 2 still. You're down 3. Eddie scores. You're within 2. Like, convert on one of those. It's a 1-goal game again. Come on. And they just couldn't do it because that final Rockford goal was an empty net goal. So you can't fault Postava on that one, right? But at the same time, you get 1 power play goal. It could have changed the momentum of this game, gotten the boys feeling good, ready to go. And they never got established in the zone whatsoever. It lacked creativity all night. It was the same thing we've seen every single game. And you're like, okay, it's getting to the point of the definition of insanity. Doing things 100 times over again and expecting a different result. Come on, like change it up a little bit here.
Yeah, 1 for 11 on the power play for the weekend. But I think the problem with this game is that we didn't have a penalty kill opportunity to be able to get a shorthanded goal, because that's trending up. Power play is trending down. So if we would have had maybe a penalty kill, may have gotten another goal on there. That could have tilted the ice as well.
We would have gotten 3 shorties this weekend. I've been like, all right, what did Hawk teach the PK while he was up here? It's looking like Toledo out here. But
you don't kill penalties.
I know, but he reserves them. Come on, he's always watching. It's just one of those games, right? It's not one we can sit here and burn the entire stat sheet and talk through every detail. You lost the special teams battle big time. You didn't have momentum in this game. You couldn't get set up in their zone. Rockford played them exactly how Rockford should play them. And they had a couple guys really stand out that kind of stole the game for them to at least give them that opportunity. I mean, you look at Lombardi doesn't score those 2 goals. It's all right. It's, it's a lot different of a game. Flores lets in 1 or 2 more. It's an entirely different game, right? It's those 2 guys were the real standouts in this game, and give them all the credit in the world. Because I mean, Lombardi's been a guy that's even bounced back and forth between the ECHL and the AHL, and for those 2 guys to come out and have games like this, that's big for Rockford.
I'll just point out on Lombardi because I see him a lot. Have seen him a lot. I think it's cool that he's getting a shot with Rockford.
Dude's a gamer.
Yeah, he was always one of Indy's better players and let alone goal scorers. So, just wanted to say, it's cool.
And he's got a snarl to his game too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
If he can figure out how to have that snarl and play like that at this level, I mean, he's got 12 goals at this level this season. That's no slouch, right? Like, if he can figure that out, he's going to be in the AHL for quite a while, which is scary for us, I guess, at this point, since he seems to have our number. I don't know if he scored a lot on Toledo.
He didn't help situations at times. I mean, he had 18. I think he had 18. What was it last year, the year before with the Fuel? So, I mean, he's a depth piece probably for Rockford at this point, but because they got a big influx of young pieces, Chicago does. So, but I mean, those are types of players that you got to have for depth within your organization on them too. Well, either way, contracts to get to the ECHL. So, I just thought it was kind of neat to see his name on the score sheet because I'm so used to seeing him in the Coast.
Well, it wasn't
anybody
neat
gets
for
on
us,
the Coast.
Travis.
Yeah. Yeah. You
for
can take him back.
opportunity.
Take him back.
I mean, this season he's played 35 games with Rockford, 15 with Indy. He's got 18 points in those 15 games with Indy. Good Lord. And then 21 points in those 35 games with Rockford. So obviously a really good depth piece for them. But any just final thoughts from you two on just this 3-3 this weekend of games besides like, hey, we lost 2, we won 1.
Bad.
You still have a 22-point lead over second place in the division.
I would say this weekend was a lot of controversial goals, right? A lot of calls that a lot of
reviews,
which was weird. The puck just really didn't bounce our way, and especially in this game, like just weird bounces that Posty couldn't account for. In this one, where Rockford was just able to take advantage of it. It's back to back. It's a 3-3 with travel to all 3 arenas. So it's not even like you had Rockford, then Milwaukee. So you kind of expect kind of a less of a game right on Sunday. But I still feel like our last 10 were not great, right? 4-5 and I think 4-6 in our last 10. So we definitely need to get Shiner back. I know how important it is for the Red Wings to make the playoffs. At the same point, like I hate losing, right? Maybe at least, especially this much, right? It's just a little bit of
those 13 regulations losses on the season, man. That really sucks, right?
Well, yeah, when 6 of them came in the last 2 weeks, so it's kind of rough on that point, So that's
not
that's
the time
hard,
to be losing games, though, fellas.
Right?
I know it's not. You obviously don't want to be losing games at this time of the year, but Nick's right on the puck bounces too. They weren't going our way, and the weirdest thing too is how many goals were just point shots that took weird bounces and got past the goaltenders. And that wasn't just a Postava thing. It wasn't just a Cossa thing. It was both of them in all 3 games. These weird bounces after a point shot that they just weren't ready for. And we saw that kind of rear its head earlier in the season during some of those 3-game losing streaks that we've had. But it's just, you don't want that to be a continued problem, because if your teams are scouting you and they just go, all right, defense, shoot it and hope it bounces one way, that's going to fool them. Like, yeah, you're going to have a quick exit then real fast. That's all they're going to do.
I mean, there's one concern I have kind of that I'll point out. And you really see it, I feel, right now. Like, without some of these pieces, they're a one-line team. Like,
yeah,
like
it was the top line carrying.
It's Leonard and Mazer right now carrying this group. And it's like, occasionally, yeah, you get the depth goals, but like when it's not them, it's Trail Max for the most part, it seems like. I mean, Becker had a goal this weekend, but like you look at that, I mean, like all of a sudden, if Detroit makes the playoffs, some guys aren't coming back. And now all of a sudden you got a problem. Like you've got 3 guys carrying the load offensively. Like that's
Coach did say that the top line is carrying. He knows we got to figure out our bottom 9 right now. And that is concerning, because in the beginning of the season, our top 9 was good. Right? It was that 4th line where you're kind of shuffling around, trying to find something that'll work. The Toledo line was great, but we've had a lot of guys coming in. We've had a lot of guys coming out in this 10-game stretch. So I'm not super concerned. I would say Panic's like a 4, right? out of 10. It's just they can't get any chemistry. They haven't even had a practice. As the coach said too, it's like 13 days without a practice. A lot of moving parts, equipment missing. That was the other thing. One of the new guys' equipment didn't show up. And now he's injured. So it's a weird situation, but yeah, just too much chaos. And I think that's really affected them in these last 2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, Coach flat out said the bottom 9 need to play better. He didn't shy away from that. And I think the biggest key to them not playing better right now is how fluid the lineup has been, right? Like they're all playing with different guys every night. If you're not getting a practice with those guys in too, like it's just a struggle. So I don't have panic about that bottom 9 yet, because there's still 11 games left. And obviously with the way they were doing the lineup this weekend, Coach is trying to figure out what's working on the fly without these practices. And there's a few practices on the schedule this week. So that's a good thing. I mean, you look at the lineup and how it changed each night. There was different guys in, different guys out. He's clearly trying to figure out who's going to work where, especially when you get, a couple of new pieces in. Milne's new. Stahoviak's going to jump in this lineup at some point, be a new guy. Enberg this weekend played, 2 of the 3 games. He didn't jump off the papers on Friday night, but obviously it's his first game. Looked a lot more settled on the second game, I would say. You could definitely see his physical style kind of show in that game. He was kind of always in the mix with stuff. He's not going to be, the flashiest guy in the world. He keeps it very, very simple, but you can see him slowly start to adjust, and everyone's just got to kind of get readjusted to each other and get back to the structure, as I kind of said earlier.
The lines, I like how you mentioned this. The lines have been very fluid. I think yesterday we saw the Black Show blender coming out throughout the game was just different
Which
guys.
we don't see with Dan Watson.
No, I hate to call it that. I don't want to connect those two, but it was definitely a blender yesterday of lines. Sorry, Waddy, but that's what it was. It was just different guys out, different. Can we get anything? Can we get something going? Can we get, can we create something here?
I think that was coach seeing this game had gotten away from them already, and he was using that time. He's like, I don't have enough practices. All right, let's see who works well with each other in game action. Here we go. And you respect it if that's what the thought process is, and knowing him and kind of how he thinks, that's probably exactly what it was. And you just hope they figure it out. Again, you're playing 4 games in 5 days. And what do you do after these? You have a day off Wednesday, which I believe there's practice, and you're busing to Cleveland for another game. Like, that's a lot of games in a short amount of time. Then you come back home to play this weekend. It's rough, dude. It's a rough go. Not ideal time of the year. Remember when we were enjoying that? Like, they have a week off at the beginning of the season. Now we're like, damn, I really wish we had that week off right now. It always comes back to bite you.
I took it off. I don't know what you guys are doing.
Good Lord. All right. Who are the 3 stars of the week, Nick? You've got the stats in front of you. What do you got?
I feel bad that we didn't really talk about Yenberg because he made his debut. Like, we didn't really dive into it.
We'll talk more about him next week because, again, it was only a 2-game sample size, and I'm not going to sit there and drill down deep on this kid just trying to figure it out in this league.
It's fair. That's fair. I'm excited to see him Tuesday or today when this comes out. John Leonard, right? He's got to be a first star.
No, you jumped right to the first star. All right. Well, obviously, yeah, Lenny first star.
Yeah, this is
right.
Nick's segment. I just chaos.
All right. Who is the 3rd star?
I would put Carter Mazer.
The 3rd star?
Guy. Oh, 3rd star? Oh, we're going there.
I was just going with your chaos there, bud.
Lombardi, 3rd star. Lombardi. Got an assist. He's got some points. He's coming back from the injury. I think he had a lot of good chances too. Friday night, I believe it was. So I thought he was going to make something happen. Didn't convert, but he is creating that chemistry with Mazer and Leonard.
So Lombo, Mazer, Leonard, your 3 stars.
3 stars.
No power play?
No power play. No penalty kill. I put Trail Max out there too because 20 goals for the year. That's pretty good.
It's pretty impressive. You do like to see it. I still have the same concerns of his play that I had last week when Travis and I talked, but I won't go after him 2 weeks in a row. We'll leave it at that. Moving on from that, let's talk about the AHL standings and where everyone aligns as it stands right now in the Central Division. Obviously, like we've said a couple of times this episode, the Griffins lead that by a nice 22 points over the Chicago Wolves. 3rd place, you've got the Texas Stars. 4th place, Manitoba. 5th place, Milwaukee. 6th, Rockford. And then Iowa in 7th place. The separation between 7th and 5th currently is 9 points. So Iowa, after all the jokes all season, they are still very much potentially in the playoff picture. Both them and Milwaukee have 13 games remaining. Rockford has 10, so they are fighting for their playoff lives every single game, which makes sense why they came out and played so hard on Sunday after losing Friday night. But at the same time, you look at this again, and it's just another year where the Central Division just starts to get tighter and tighter and tighter as the season gets near the end. And the fact that Iowa is not out of it, like, hey, credit to them. They are one of the hottest teams in this division right now. Them and Texas both. Texas is 7-3 in their past 10. Iowa is 7-2-1 in their past 10. So they've got some new guys in there figuring things out and could be a playoff sleeper for all we know. If they sneak in there over Milwaukee, Milwaukee fans are going to crumble. God, could you imagine? You got knocked out by the Iowa Wild. Anyways, to the Pacific Division, Ontario still in first in that one, with a 3-point lead over the Colorado Eagles. San Jose is in 3rd place, Bakersfield in 4th, Coachella Valley in 5th, Henderson in 6th, San Diego in 7th, Tucson in 8th, Calgary in 9th, and Abbotsford, who is officially eliminated from the playoffs, down there in 10th place. We'll head on up to the Atlantic Division. Providence and Wilkes-Barre leading those divisions there. Providence with almost a 9-point lead on Wilkes-Barre. Now, both those teams do have playoff spots locked down. Charlotte in 3rd, Hershey in 4th, Bridgeport still in 5th place in that division but they are still tied with Lehigh Valley, both at 60 points. Springfield right on their heels at 58 points, and Hartford at 54 points. Really on all their heels, but the math looks better for Springfield than it does Lehigh, as Lehigh has 10 games left. Springfield has 11, so maybe they can sneak in there. Go ahead, Nick.
So we have talked previously about how we don't want to be the league leading for points for the McGregor Trophy, right?
Yeah.
So I went back for the last 11 years. 6 of them have won it, the whole thing. They won the
It's
McGregor.
not a curse in this league as much as most leagues.
Yeah, and they didn't play for 2 seasons. So 6 out of that's pretty good odds. So we kind of need to get it going. Gives us a better chance, I think.
Yeah, we'll give you that league breakdown here in just a second. We'll go to the North Division to wrap this up. Laval and Syracuse at the top of those divisions both have locked down a playoff spot now. Laval with a 2-point lead over Syracuse, and Syracuse has 1 game in hand on Laval there as well. So that could get interesting to see if Syracuse topples the team that's basically led that division the entire year. Cleveland in 3rd place, Toronto in 4th, Rochester in 5th, Belleville and Utica at 6th and 7th there. Utica not eliminated from the playoffs yet either. There is still a potential fight that could happen down there for that last playoff spot, which is really interesting after, again, all season long, it was the jokes where Abbotsford, Iowa, and Utica are basically eliminated at this point, and all of a sudden 2 of those 3 are still very much in the picture with some games left here. So it's going to get interesting, but we want to explain how the playoffs work in the American League, because not everyone knows it's very different from the NHL and the ECHL and basically every other hockey league out there, as Travis is already rolling his eyes before we even start this segment, because we all share the same feelings of this playoff format. It's stupid, but the joke is everyone makes the playoffs in this league. They kind of do. The playoff field will include the top 6 finishers from the Atlantic Division, the top 5 finishers in both the North and the Central, and the top 7 finishers in the Pacific Division. So as I went through there and broke down what place all those teams were, you kind of think about that now and go, oh my God, yeah, everyone does make the playoffs. Yeah, it's very, very accurate statement. The first round is a best of 3 series. In the Pacific Division, which has the most teams in the entire, or out of the divisions in the entire league, the top team gets a bye from the play-in round, best of 3. The rest of the teams battle it out. In the Central Division, your top 3 teams do not have to play the play-in round. It's going to be your 4th and 5th place teams that play that. So as it shakes down right now, it'd be Manitoba and Milwaukee, to give you the context there. In the North Division, same story as the Central. In the Atlantic Division, the top 2 teams get a bye, and you have 2 play-in rounds there. Those are all best of 3 games. The division semifinals are a best of 5. The division finals are a best of 5. You get to best of 7s in the conference and Calder Cup finals. So that's how the format works, and it is stupid.
And the season ends a day before the draft.
Usually, yes. The trophy is usually awarded a day or 2 right before the NHL draft. It's a joke. Why they do this? It's a development league. NHL teams want their teams playing meaningful games. If you consider a best of 3 play-in round a meaningful game, we always try to want to skip this round. But again, at the same time, with the way scheduling in the arenas works, your team might be sitting for a week and a half before you play game 1 of the playoffs.
I remember when we went to Rockford, when we were talking with the president of the league, he said too, like the first round, they don't really make any money off of it either. It's like they don't make money until the third round?
Second or third round, yeah, depending on the market. It's truly just for the board and the NHL to be happy with these prospects playing what they call meaningful games. Again, it's the only league in pro hockey in North America that does this format. The ECHL does a straight up format just like the NHL does. It all makes sense. This one is a head scratcher every single year, especially when you start boiling it down to arena availability. And we know with Van Andel how busy it is, how stupid this schedule can look, because we've seen best of 3s where the lower seeded team plays all 3 games in their barn. Like we've seen that. We've seen where 2 of those 3 games are played in the lower seeds barn, where you don't have home ice advantage when you should have home ice advantage. We've taken part in series like that before. Like we remember the Texas one, we started on the road in Texas last year. Like that sucked. And then we waited a week to play game 2. Like it doesn't get any less stupid until you get into the division finals.
As we get closer, because I know Waddy's not thinking about this right now, but as we get closer, he gets to choose where they start. They get to choose where they start, depending on availability of the arena as well. But they get to pick if they start on the road first or home. It's a weird. Yeah, I
dumbest
literally
thing I've
saw
ever
this the
heard.
other day. It was a very weird rule, but they get to pick it. And it's bit one team in the butt before, Manchester Monarchs, and they did it and they got swept. So nobody usually picks like to start on away, but we'll see if Wadi is thinking, because we have been so good on the roads. Wouldn't be surprised, right, if we started on the road. But
Yeah, I mean, because you've seen best of fives where the first 2 games are on the road, then the next 3 are in your barn, and that can bite you. So
yeah.
it's a dumb format. It'll always be a dumb format. I hate it. They need to go back to a standard format. Not every team needs to make the playoffs, especially when, like Scott Hausen said, it's a tough sell that first round to get fans into it. Like that right there is just, you're throwing money out the door. That's so stupid just to get these players to play, again, what you call meaningful games. Every game in the regular season then should be meaningful because you should be fighting for that playoff spot, not just getting gifted one.
Should be top 4 in each division, just like the ECHL.
You need to realign the divisions because you can't have a division where you have 10 teams in there and then pull a top 4 out. That's just not fair.
Well, I mean, I understand that, but
What do you
to
want?
make
5?
to make it simpler, like
That's half the division, Brandon. You want to do 5 top 5 teams?
Well, no, what's stupid is like when you look at the Pacific and you see that only the top seed gets that bye. And then you look at the Atlantic and go, okay, the top 2 teams do, but everyone else has to fight it out. It's really dumb. It is really dumb. So as it stands right now, the Griffins, if it ended today, the Griffins would play the winner of Manitoba or Milwaukee. Between those 2, who you want? I know Travis wants Milwaukee. Nick's like, I don't want either.
you don't want to know my path for the Griffins to get there because you.
Oh, yes, I
hate
do.
It.
Let's hear it.
Give me fucking Milwaukee and give me Texas. Like run through both of them.
I mean, I like the thinking, just the revenge story.
They are the 2 teams ever since I've like joined the show that have kind of been the big brother give GR the most fits. Like look at last year, like it didn't go well. The year before that, they had Milwaukee on the ropes and they let them slide back into it, and all of a sudden you're out. Like you got, and like for me, it's the same thing down here. I want Fort Wayne every year. Like that is the rivalry. You should go through the teams that give you the most trouble. You should have to. You want to be the best, you got to beat the teams that give you the most problems.
Yeah, you also told me you wanted Kalamazoo first round again, and I'm like, no, like I'm so sick of that first round matchup. Even as it benefits us because it's closer to us, I'm so sick of it. Sick of seeing the same teams play each other. I understand, I know where you're coming from, but now see, in my perspective, since you've only been covering them for a few seasons and watching a few seasons, and you're like, yeah, give me Milwaukee, Texas. No, give me Milwaukee than Chicago. That's where you go way back. The rivalry runs deep. Those will be way easier tickets to sell for a playoff game than Texas or Manitoba. Well, Manitoba still, like we've had playoff meetings with them for a lot of years too. But give me those 2. Give me the IHL teams running through.
I think you don't.
That's what I want.
The team you don't want's Manitoba.
That's the team that scares me.
That's who I want. Because those games have been so tight, so close, 1-0
You
games.
hate those games.
Yeah. What the hell? Like, come on. You
hold up.
This is the guy that when it's a tight defensive game, he's like, this is so boring. I hate this style of hockey. If you're wondering
and then you can't
why
watch the
we're
Oilers
calling out
play
Nick.
when they score 5. Like what?
I can't watch
Pick a
the
side
Oilers
here.
play.
Pick a
I
side.
can't watch the Oilers play. But in the playoffs, it's different. It's those 1-0 games is like you're on the edge of your seat. You're like the next big hit can literally clear the puck and if a breakaway happens, right? And where you get great goaltending, that's what I want to see. In Manitoba, we played very close. It's been only 1, maybe 2 goal games. Milwaukee's been such a swing, right? It's been 3 goals one way, 3 goals another. You want a tight defensive matchup, it's Manitoba, and then I would go Wolves would be the second one.
So I'm going to say this just for everyone else that might be thinking it. Nick, you know how like every game matters to get to the playoffs, and those close 1-goal games should keep you on the edge of your seat because every game matters especially when you look at the Atlantic Division in the NHL. You should probably have that same excitement for every game during the season that's close like that. Then.
I can't believe he just said all that.
Well, this is where our comment section is reserved for roasting Nick sometimes.
Like I've been at Gabe's with Nick, and he's like, "This is so boring." I'm like, "Dude, it's 2-1. How are you bored right now?"
I imagine I'll probably be clipping the playoffs as well. So, like, I'm hoping for a lower scoring game. I cannot do a 9-goal again, right? I can't do controversial goals. being called back. I think just a 1-0, 2-1. I think that's where. But you want that
This
for
is
your
all
goalies.
selfish reasons right now.
You disregard the clipping spot, but you want Cossa to be in those moments, right? You want Posty to be in those moments. You want our top defenseman to be in those moments where the game is on the line, right? It's a pressure cooker. You want that. Those are the environments you want for your players to step up and to really get the experiences, those tight, close playoff games. That's why I want that.
I don't care if they beat somebody 8-1.
You just want them to win.
Right. That's
No, I think Milwaukee, Chicago, to tie this all back to that, I think that would be a lot of fun for the division rounds. I want Colorado in the conference finals.
That's PTSD for me, man.
I want an excuse just to go out there.
That's major PTSD for me. So you can have that war.
I'm sure it's PTSD for Dan Watson too. But
I went through that twice and it's not fun.
I just want an excuse to go out there. Sorry. Because I will.
They've been scouting us all year, so I don't really want to go up against Colorado. I know they've been scouting us all year.
Well, I don't want to go to Ontario or Bakersfield, California. Coachella Valley would be sweet. San Jose is whatever. San Diego's not going to make it that deep.
Dude, San Jose could be legit if the Sharks make the playoffs.
Even if they don't make, you mean they don't? I mean, Barracuda would probably lose some guys. So I don't want to go to Henderson. Like, no, thanks. So yeah,
maybe you could double down. That's what we should be rooting for here.
What?
We should be rooting for Henderson and Tahoe.
Oh, I see what you're saying there. All right. Are you want to root for Tahoe after this weekend? Are you sure?
I'd like another round with them guys.
Why don't you ask the players that first?
I think they want another round with them guys.
Yeah, I can't wait as this gets more settled and like confirmed, and we can actually start kind of making some predictions. That'll be fun. We're gonna sit here and decipher everything Nick just said about what style of plays to watch for too. And comment section, you know what to do. Outside of that, I've got nothing else to add for this week. I don't think these guys do either. So we'll wrap it up there. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another Grand Rapids Griffins update. Stay tuned this week for our Toledo Walleye update that'll come as well. And hopefully, if we can get the editing all done with an interview with Brandon Hawkins, that'll be a ton of fun. It was a ton of fun to sit down with him in person. Again, in-person interviews are way better than doing these virtual ones. There's so much more fun to get done. And of course, with him, he always has the request of in-person and in that spot. He likes that spot. He likes to show off the arena. We had to make sure the ice view is in there, all the things. It's his building. Or as he said, he signed the lease and has permission, right? So a lot of fun stuff coming up with that interview, so stay tuned for that. Before we go, we got to thank our sponsors of the show, DraftKings and Everything Hockey Clothing Company. When you're betting with DraftKings, use code THPN. And when you're shopping at everythinghockey.com, use code WEST to save a few bucks off your order. We also got to thank our lovely Patreon subscribers as well over at patreon.com/HockeytownWest podcast. If you want to join these lovely folks, head over there, check out the tiers we have. But Nick, who are the lovely folks this week?
We've got Michael Sate, Alan and Lori Fausch. We've got Derek Sleezer, Griffin Not from GR, Elaine Grace, John in Florida, Tyler Ingalls, D-Boss is D-Boss, Joe Schroeder, Peter Grell, Darren Swartz, Zach, Bert, Rito, Alan, GR, Bex, and a new subscriber, Jason C.
Thank you all for the love and support. And thank you, Nick. I think you said Tyler's name right for maybe the first time ever on the show.
Oh.
There's a joke to that, and Tyler will appreciate it. Anyways, everybody, have a great week, and until we talk again, as always, go Griffins, go Walleye.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Hockeytown West podcast. Be sure to check us out on Twitter at HockeytownWPod and your hosts, Nick at GR Hockey Guy, Brandon at Brandon GR Hockey, and Travis at Trav in T-Town.
Tyler says you call him Tyler Angle, by the way.
Angle?